So you guys probably saw my video on the portable stump grinder, the review I did on that. I didn't really care for that style for reasons mentioned in that video, so I finally decided to spend the money on a 3-point hitch stump grinder. Now I went with this style here. These run roughly $6,000 to $7,000, and then you have the other style that just goes horizontal with the back of the tractor and just lowers and raises. It doesn't go side to side. There's a couple different reasons why I chose a more expensive model, and I'm going to get into those. But first, on this particular Baumalight, which is what I went with. Now I got the 3P24 model, 3Papa24, because I have a 45 horse PTO. If you have a smaller tractor, you'd be getting the 1Papa24, I believe it's called. So I'll get in a little closer here and show you what we got. So when you get this in the crate, the 3-point hookup is actually facing down. It does have a lift point here that you could lift it up and lower it down that way. I honestly just used the forklift on my tractor and tipped it over into some soft dirt to get it facing the right direction. But so what you'll have is this long arm bracket here that comes separate. It's just kind of laying in there. That gets attached to the front of the frame here, right by where your spare blades are. You'll put that on there, and then you have a couple different adjustments to get it in a position to where you can comfortably access the levers from your seat. You will need one set of rear remotes for your tractor, and then that will control both joysticks on the stump grinder. That was all there was to assembly. It was actually quite simple, so that wasn't too bad. And I'll tell you, this is a lot heavier duty than I expected. When you see these things in pictures and that, you're picturing a thin sheet metal guard. I mean, this is 1/4 inch thick steel. Very, very heavy duty. Now, I did hit one soft stump with this, just so I don't look like a complete tool demoing it for the video. So the learning curve is very, very easy. I did one stump and I'm already decently fluent with it. So now I'm going to get into why I chose this model. So first up is the sheer size of this stump. This stump measures 52 inches across just on the main section. We're not getting into the legs that go off in every direction. Just the main section's 52 inches. And then height-wise, this one's about 12, 14 inches above the ground. Now, with that cheaper $3,000 style that's fixed on the back of your tractor, you have to back up over the stump, lower it down, and drag the grinder across it. You couldn't do that with this. You'd have to start on one side, and when you're on one side, your tires would be up on the other side. This stump is just too big for that style grinder. And so there is one more situation I'm going to show you now also. Here we have a stump that's built into the hillside here. We got the driveway over there, we have a hill over here. It would be very awkward to bring that other attachment in and get behind this stump. We're on uneven ground, and I don't even know if it would even fit back in here. We're very close to the other stump and the hill and all that. And then we also have the stump behind me, and this is even farther up the hill. Now this is going to get cut down before I grind it, but look at how steep that hill is. It would be very, very awkward to try and get that fixed style back in here. So those are two situations why I chose for the model that swivels and raises and lowers. So now I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this in use. We're going to go ahead and grind this big stump here. And in closing on the other style, what I would say is, what I would recommend is if you have stumps that are 16, 18 inches across, and that's all the more you're doing, the other style will definitely work for you. It would save you quite a bit of money. But if you have bigger stumps or stumps in weird, tricky areas like what I showed you over there by my driveway, you would want this style here that has a lot more maneuverability. As far as the cost of the stump grinder, period, I got a price from my local rental place to rent the mini skid steer and then the stump grinding attachment for it. I'm looking at $500 a day. I have a lot of stumps to grind. I anticipate having more stumps in the future. So you figure at the cost of, it cost me just about $6,000 for this from where I got it from at the time of this video. What are we talking? 12 days worth of rental. Over the course of the time I'm going to own this, I'm going to have a lot more than 12 days worth of stump grinding. And again, we're talking 8 hours on the meter. So depending on how long it takes you, could be more or less. So that's my thoughts on the different styles and the costs associated with them. So let's go ahead and hit this stump, and I'm going to attempt to time-lapse this. We'll start off a little slow, and then we'll go ahead and blow through it, and I'll let you know how much time it took total. quick intermission here. I'm going to move the camera so you can actually see where it's cutting into the log. And something else I wanted to mention, the guard on that can be lifted up also. So those two stumps I showed you up by my garage, to get closer, I can lift that guard up and that wheel hangs out then and can get very close to things. So that's another big feature I wanted to point out there. Now I can't even begin to tell you how much faster this is than that DK2 I reviewed previously. So now I'm getting close to the tree on the other side, so I'm going to lift up the guard so I can, so the guard's not hitting the tree when I get to the side. But you can already see this very, very large stump. A 65-degree arc comes in great handy. I'm able to go all the way across the whole length of that stump, where other models you might have to be doing half of it, then move the tractor, do the other half. So again, another great feature on this particular grinder. Sorry about that. So we're not quite an hour in and we've made tremendous progress on this. You see it seems to cut a little smoother going counterclockwise from right to left. I don't know if that's because of the stump or because of the ground I'm on. It seems like as I move right, I kind of move uphill and bite more into the stump up, so I'm not sure there. But yeah, so not even quite an hour in, and I'd say we're definitely probably about 3/4 of the way through here. So I had to kind of stop and get our bearings here. This thing will dig a hole to China. I didn't realize how far down I was getting. So I had to get a shovel and kind of move the sawdust out around, and we're left with just 3 parts of some roots that had branched off of the main stem. The main stump's been gone. I've been digging it down deeper than what I need to. I just want to get it below the surface so I can mow in that. So again, we're down to 3 little legs. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. These won't take long at all. I'm going to go ahead and call it an hour and a half, and that was getting used to my new rear remotes on the tractor, switching between my 3-point and that function. So again, getting used to everything really. So an hour and a half for a 52-inch across stump that was 12 to 14 inches high, and that was an oak. So not bad at all. Again, I think this is the best bet. I'm happy with it, well worth the money. Hopefully I answered all the questions you might have about this. If not, throw something in the comments. I changed my settings to where I'll get notified on comments now, so hopefully I won't miss your questions. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it useful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now. Appreciate you watching.